Hello and welcome to the Women's Football Chat. Today we're going to be talking about the breaking news. Daphne van Domselaar has joined Arsenal. It's a confirmed deal. We're recording in advance of it being confirmed, but it's all but there. Harry, this is a big signing, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a big signing. This is another one of Arsenal's incredible summer transfer window that appears to be happening at the moment. They've brought in some phenomenal players so far, and again, another big signing here in Daphne van Domselaar. It shows another step in the right direction. It's a big step as well for Arsenal. You know, they're trying to close that gap to the top two. This is a very, very big deal.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. I think their pursuit of Mary Earps over the last year and a bit has been very well documented, and they've definitely been looking for a goalkeeper for a long time now. I know a lot of Arsenal fans are unhappy with the performances of Sabrine D'Angelo and, of course, Manuela Zinsberger. I think a change was always inevitable, and Daphne van Domselaar, one of the top performing goalkeepers in the league last season, I think they've absolutely smashed it with this signing.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you talk about D'Angelo and Zinsberger. To be completely honest, the goalkeeper situation at Arsenal, last season was an absolute mess. Both of them kept swapping in and swapping out. They both were performing below par. They both made big errors that cost them games. And yeah, I think rightfully so, Arsenal fans got frustrated with both of them because neither of them were delivering any kind of quality performance. So this did feel like a big signing that Arsenal did need a goalkeeper. As you say, with Earps, it was a load of cat and mouse for years now and nothing happened from it. But yeah, this is a big signing, and as you say, I think Van Domselaar especially is a very, very good goalkeeper. Perfect time to pick her up at a Villa side who have really struggled last season. You know, I mean, obviously they're under new management now, taking that opportunity, going in there and taking Van Domselaar.
Yeah, definitely. And let's talk about Mary Earps then, because I think a question a lot of Arsenal fans will have is why Van Domselaar over Earps? Earps has been the preferred option for a while now. She's a bit more proven than WSL. She's got familiarity with a lot more of the teammates. So why Van Domselaar over Mary Earps? I
mean, yeah, it's a very, very interesting debate. I mean, I think number one, obviously Van Domselaar's got age on her side more than Earps does.
Yeah.
It's an interesting decision. It is a hard one to call, but I mean, I think for Arsenal, you've got to look at the ceiling. I think you've got to look at the ceiling. I mean, I'm not saying Van Domselaar's a quality goalkeeper now, but think in a couple of years she's just going to get better and better and better.
Yeah, you would expect. So I'm going to talk about a few things that I noticed from Arsenal last season and why I think Van Domselaar might fit. If you look at how Arsenal play, it is very direct, very high pressing. The directness is more important here because what Arsenal want to do is move the ball from back to front as quickly as possible. And I think a big key they've added this season is Mariona Caldente in there. We've already spoken about how her energy could just improve them massively. You look at Miedema, and the big issue there, and the reason Eidevall didn't like Vivian Miedema, is she slows the game down so much. Because she plays a very different style of football. She'll fit in a City very nicely.
Yeah.
Because they do play slow, patient, possession-based football. But Arsenal want to play on the front foot. They want to be much more direct. So I think Van Domselaar helps with that. Looking at the stats from last season, she averaged 552 metres of ball progression per 90. So that is moving that ball forwards. You compare that to Mary Earps down at 417 metres. Clearly getting that ball forwards much quicker. She also had 9.7 long passes completed per 90. So a long pass is anything over 30 yards. Now when you consider the goalkeeper is going to be on the edge of the box quite a lot, that is pretty much getting to the opposition half. So that's a much more positive thing for me. I think Arsenal will be able, with Van Domselaar, be able to spring forwards very quickly. And obviously, given their direct style, that's going to help them out massively. The other thing is in build-up. We know of Zinsberger's inability really with the ball at her feet. And in build-up, Van Domselaar is going to improve them massively because she is very good on the ball. We've seen that for Aston Villa at times this season. She averaged 50.3 touches per 90, which is one of the highest in the league. I think the second highest for goalkeepers, only behind the Leicester goalkeeper, who was just picking out the back of her net. So lots of touches in there. But I think that clearly shows, and of course we've seen it for the Netherlands, it clearly shows she's a goalkeeper who is very capable of playing at the highest level. She is an elite goalkeeper. I think she takes Arsenal up a step here. I think that really pushed them towards that Chelsea Man City top two.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, to put up those kind of numbers in an Aston Villa side who had a torrid season last campaign, it's really, really strong. And as you say, when you play around stronger players, your performance improves as well. And I think this is a great deal for Arsenal, for Van Domselaar. It's perfect because, as you say, she gets to play at the elite level that we know she can play at. and Arsenal bring in a very, very good goalkeeper who is up there in the same bracket as your Hampton, as your Keating, and on there. I mean, that sounds silly to say sometimes, but she is. I think Van Domselaar will be.
Yeah, definitely. I'd argue even at the moment she's ahead of your Keatings and your Hamptons. I think she's a very
overall,
capable goalkeeper. I think when a lot of her last season, I think went unnoticed by a lot of people, but her performances at Euro 2022 were absolutely phenomenal. So if she can channel that sort of performance once again next season, that could be the difference maker for Arsenal.
100%.
And it's something they've missed this season. We've seen a catalogue of errors from Zinsberger and D'Angelo, and that's cost them in big games. I think back to United in... was it October, November time, where there was a big blunder, I believe, from Manuela Zinsberger that cost him in that game. Oh, D'Angelo, I can't remember which one.
I think that's D'Angelo.
It was D'Angelo in that game. Big blunder, and that cost them a potential win there. So I think they will be looking at bringing in a goalkeeper who's a lot more reliable, and of course, as I've mentioned, helps them so much on the ball. So that's going to be interesting. Let's talk about the details then of the deal. It's £200,000 the rumoured transfer fee, about €250,000. That is the release clause, and I think we questioned at the time last summer how Villa managed to get Van Domselaar. Evidently, it came with that release clause, which has seen her leave, but Villa pocket a very healthy return, I think, because obviously it was a free transfer for Domselaar. She left FC Twente for nothing. So very healthy for Villa. How you replace her, that's a completely different question. That's going to be very difficult to do. And then she's expected to sign a 4-year deal. Now that would likely be announced with the announcement we're recording ahead of that. But yeah, I think that would be... I think it's a good deal, to be honest. She's only 24 now, so you're going to have her till 28 at least, and then you can look at extending after that. So I think it's a really good addition. Yeah,
100%. I mean, it's a great fee for Arsenal. I think Aston Villa need to work out how to value their release clauses, because that they've had Van Domselaar's release, they had Blinkilda Brown's was met by City obviously in January, and they thought they set that too high, but no, that didn't happen. So maybe Aston Villa need to have a look at how low they're setting their release clauses.
Well, one, is it that that's the only way to get those players, and two is that the valuations have risen so quickly. Because obviously the price has changed. Now 200,000 would have been a lot for a goalkeeper when the record transfer fee was 500,000, but now that the record transfer fee is beyond $1 million, 200,000 seems quite a reasonable price to pay for a player, and that's only going to go up. So I think Villa may have been caught a cropper there of that inflation, but. Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting. On Arsenal as a whole then, Eidevall, he's quickly running out of excuses not to win the title, because you look at the fact that in the last 2 seasons, I think Eidevall and Taylor are both under pressure, but Taylor lost last season on goal difference, finishing second in the league. The last 2 years, Eidevall's Arsenal finished third in the table, and in neither of those seasons have they been close to the title fight. This season, he's out of excuses, because he's moaned about Miedemar not fitting the tactics. She's gone. He's wanted a world-class attack midfielder. He's got that in Caldente. He wanted a world-class goalkeeper. He's got that in Van Domselaar. So where's your excuses anymore? Arsenal have got to be winning the league this season, you think?
Well, even if they don't win it, I think they have to be there. Like City were, they have to be there in the final game week, because obviously we know how strong Chelsea and City are. So I'm not saying that Arsenal should go out and win it, but as you 100% agree, they should they have to be up there. They can't, I mean, they were out of the title race. I mean, that game at Stamford Bridge where they got absolutely battered by Chelsea. I mean, they were out of the... I think that game that put them out of the title race, or didn't put them mathematically out of it.
They had a good record, though. They beat Chelsea, obviously, at the Emirates in the first half of the season. They beat and drew with Man City. It wasn't the results against those top two sides. It was silly results, like that loss to West Ham at... Meadow Park last season. There was that loss to, obviously that draw with Manchester United early in the season, lost to Liverpool on the opening day. Those were the results that cost Arsenal this season.
Lost to Tottenham.
And they can't afford those sorts of results going into next season if they want to be up there. Now, I'm really excited for the new season. Arsenal facing Manchester City on the opening day, as we saw announced this week. That's going to tell a lot, I think, for this season.
But I think what Arsenal are doing is they're bringing in players who will stop those results happening. Because they're bringing in players that can determine the game. Because, I look at that West Ham game. If a world-class goalkeeper was in net, you save both those shots and suddenly you don't lose that game. Even if you don't win it, you still don't concede the goals, so you just draw 0-0.
Well, Caldente, now you do create chances and go and win that game.
100%. Caldente's a type of player where if you're 1-0 down or if you're drawing 0-0 and you need a goal, she can take the game by the scruff of the neck and can get you over the line in that game. That's what they're doing. It's really good business from Arsenal. They've got it right off the pitch so far, perfectly. they're selling. They're going to be selling out the Emirates. They're going to have brilliant players. Eidevall, there's pressure on you now, mate. You've got to get it right on the pitch because, as you say, there's no excuses for Arsenal now. They've got the equipment to do the job. They've got to get it done.
Well, no, I think the excuse for Arsenal is Eidevall. But I think the buck now stops with Eidevall. If Arsenal aren't competitive for the league next season, we know the quality of the players.
Yeah.
If Arsenal don't compete for the WSL title next season, that buck falls now with Jonas Eidevall. And for 100%. Me, he would have to go after that. But it's going to be interesting. I think if they can sign Kira Walsh as well, that would be a fantastic addition. So, I mean, that would be the cherry on the icing on the cake. And they are, at the moment, putting together a really nice squad. If they can just bring in someone that's got a little bit more star about them. They've already got a load of world-class players, but someone like Kira Walsh, I think, transforms this team. It steps it up another level. Van Domselaar improves them massively in goal. They could just bring in a really good defensive midfielder. I don't see where Arsenal's weakness is. And then, of course, that's when we talk about Eidevall. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens this season. We should have a three-way fight for the title, at the very least. But obviously we don't know what's going to happen with Chelsea this season. Will City be as strong as they were? It's looking like all three clubs are investing well. I mean, Chelsea making great additions, City making great additions, Arsenal making great additions. It's going to be a good season, hopefully.
2 months to go.
Very much so. Very excited for it, and I hope you guys are as well. Do get your thoughts in the comment section down below on this one. If you are watching when this gets posted, well, it might be Wednesday, it might be Thursday, because we're hoping to time this with the announcement of Van Domselaar to Arsenal. Then look out for streams. We're live on Wednesday for England under-19s game against Spain, and we're live on Thursday for the start of the Olympics. We're going to be covering Germany, Australia, hopefully. So do join us for both of those. But thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.